أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قال إنما أشكو وبأسي حزني إلى الله وأعلموا من الله ما لا تعلمون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Yusuf alayhi Islam in verse 86, when Yaqub alayhi salam says to his sons that I complain of my grief and my sorrow to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but nobody else. He knows me better than what you think. He knows me and he understands my grief, my sorrowful separation from Yusuf alayhi salam. We find Shu'aib alayhi salam, when he was taunted by his people. The people of Shu'aib alayhi salam worshipped a tree. He was called a preacher. He was one of the first prophets to speak Arabic. When the people did not want to listen to Shu'aib alayhi salam, so they drove him out of the city with his people. They say Shu'aib alayhi salam cried, wept so much that he became blind. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala restored his eyesight. He cried more, he became blind. Allah restored his eyesight. He cried again and he became blind. Allah restored his eyesight again for the third time. Remember the people of Shu'aib alayhi salam. Punishment came. It became so hot that they couldn't quench their thirst. Even if they had a bath, it wouldn't go away. That coolness wouldn't go away from them. So finally they saw some hope, they thought. And they saw the clouds building and they thought that it was going to rain. But all of a sudden, hailstones came down on them because of their disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Shu'aib alayhi salam came back with the people to see this. They say Imam Zaman alayhi salam is a man of the age of 40, a very young, handsome person. When Shu'aib alayhi salam came back to his people, he became very young. But unfortunately, the people did not appreciate Shu'aib alayhi salam's words of wisdom. Imam Ali alayhi salam says, close the doors to calamity with supplication. The one who calamities keep coming does not supplicate more than the person from who the calamities have been kept away from. Look at this beautiful saying, Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Talib salawatullah alayhi. The words of wisdom from the Imam. The words that are words of reflection, are words of understanding. The day of Imam Zaman alayhi salam, another day for us to get closer to the Imam alayhi salam. The Imam himself is Mazloom, because people like myself and yourself have made him Mazloom. The sins that we commit, the disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we bring into our lives is enormous. What we need to do as believers is take a step back and think into why we are doing this, what's the reason for it, how we can improve, how we can move forward. Life is about moving forward, or is it about going backwards? They say in Lakhuf, the book of Sayyid Ibn Ta'us, which is the oldest book about Karbala, they say there were 6 tribes who the heads were distributed amongst one Kanda tribe. There are 13 heads. Kawazan tribe, headed by Shibr ibn al-Jawshan, La'anullah alayhi, had 12 heads. Bani Tamim had 17 heads. Bani Asad, who later on buried the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, had 16 heads. Minhaj tribe had 7 heads. And that's the rest of the tribes. The people had 13 heads. They say a woman got up for the night's prayer. She noticed a light in her front garden. She thought, where's this light coming from? So she looked, and she looked into the well, and she saw a luminous light coming from the well. She thought what it was. She looked closely. It was the head of Abu Abdullah. Her husband had bought it and put it down in the well. She asked the husband, what is this? Whose head is this? He said, this is the head of the grandson of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him and his family. She became very shocked. She said, why have you brought the head here? He said, I wanted to put it here. The reason why is everyone had one head and I took this one. His wife wailed and cried, into what has the husband done? سيعلم الله الذين ظلموا أي يوم قريب ينقلبون